Hello there. The media would have us believe that we're out of this depression, or at least there's a glimmer of hope, and soon the housing market will have bottomed, markets are already reversing and going upwards, and we've got a bull market trend on the way. How much of this can we believe? How much of it is true? And how much of it should we beware of? Well, in my view, I think that these figures that were being given in the press about unemployment figures, job figures, I feel as though they're distorted. The consumer price index, pricing of food and groceries and all these things, I feel as though these prices, I'm certain, are being distorted. So we're made to believe that things are not quite as bad as they actually are. I'm not one for doom and gloom, but I am one for reality and looking at the situation and knowing what the situation is that I'm in, rather than blindly fumbling my way around. At least once I know roughly what's going on, I can start to prepare intelligently. What do I think's happening? I think we're going to see governments collapse. I think we're going to see a whole lot more unemployment yet. I think the markets are going to come down a whole lot further, that this euphoria will not last, and that if you are involved in the stock markets, that you're very, very careful because you are playing with fire. I think that the G20 that put in this 5 trillion stimulus, I think is a drop in the ocean when you consider that JP Morgan has got over 90 trillion derivatives on its books. So something's out of balance somewhere. So I'm not seeing this wonderful upsurge at this point. So what can you do? Well, here's what I would do. I would reduce your standard of living voluntarily before you're forced to do it. Instead of dreaming about becoming rich, dream about covering your expenses and about living at peace with your neighbours. I would also look at buying some gold and silver if you have a little bit of extra cash. At least buy some commodities. Gold is at a reasonable price right now. It's around $8.80 at the moment, US dollars. So it's certainly worth looking at. And the main thing is to start really thinking for yourself. This is the revolution now about thinking for ourselves. Because once we start thinking for ourselves and not allowing the governments and the banks and all these other authorities to run what it is that we do, they haven't done a particularly good job. So it's time for us to get together with like-minded people and start to build the communities and lives that we want. Thank you for listening, and I'll be back soon.